people, I'll throw it up, but like people justify their wars for the sake of peace, but in the sake of peace, you promote more hatred because you're going to war for this self-righteous cause that you think is so definitive,
right?
So it's like, bro, madra. And honestly, you know, sometimes because of all that, fame can take a hold of it because it can guide your own, like, it can persuade you towards this and that. And greed can persuade you towards this or that or left or right. Justifies your actions. But I say all that because at the end of the day, fame and greed are ruining your favorite products.
Yes. I totally agree with you. And freaking like it's ruining, like I could see it in gaming more, but in products in general, like you ever had like loved the product and once it got popular, like the quality started dying down?
Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot now, especially in today's like society. Welcome back very much, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the LeisureHub Podcast. I'm Justin, and alongside me is with
Pedro
Madera, which means Peter Wood.
Yep,
in
that's
English.
Pretty funny.
It's not funny.
Okay.
If you think it's funny, it's
so.
racist.
Racist.
Laugh.
Peter Wood.
Go ahead, laugh. But to your point, more often than not, over time you start to see that these products that are coming out are being made mainly to take advantage of the consumer, and it just becomes more of like a cash grab.
Yeah,
especially in games.
Yeah, it's like a cash cow.
A cash cow. And like movies movies have been doing it for a while now. Games are starting to do it a lot now.
Yeah. Recently
I made a post on Threads. Let me pull it up really quick because I don't know if y'all saw this, which if you're not on Threads, you should go on Threads and follow us right now. It's LeisureHub Podcast on Threads. But I made a post. Actually, I didn't make this post yet. So
don't say it.
It looks like I'm not going to say it. So, but Pedro's going to take the lead on this one because this is. So we both gave our own little like kind of list of things we wanted to talk about from podcast to podcast. This is one that he brought up, and I think this is a really good one.
Right, it's like I feel like they ruin your products in a way, and it goes hand in hand with people trying to like, what do they call it? Gatekeep. Gatekeep things like, oh, don't promote it too much or it's going to get ruined. Mm-hmm. These people know what's going on, but at the same time, you don't want to gatekeep stuff. Yeah. Because you want it to be even better. Yeah. Or, get recognized for the actual product that it is, the actual quality that it is. Right. But they know deep down that these companies will see that and then lower their quality in order to get more money out of it. Right. I'm gonna pause you right there, and we'll continue right off of that thought. But I did make the post. I lied. Oh, it was like 6 days ago. It was 6 days ago. I made this from the time of this recording. I posted. I've loved a lot of remakes, but I think companies have been feeding too much on nostalgia lately, especially in the movie area. You got any movies in mind right now?
Off the top of my head, you got to give me a little bit.
Okay, I'm trying to think of some. Michael Myers.
Yeah. They made 3, and the last one was kind of ass.
I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's a classic, but I enjoyed it.
But I know a lot of people that were not happy with how the ending or how the movie was structured. Yeah. But you have a lot of like movies that they're pulling from back in the day, and they're kind of remaking of TV shows. They even I can give you more TV shows than I can give you movies right now. But I know Powerpuff Girls was one that they remade. They remade Powerpuff Girls.
That already came back.
It came back a couple years ago. Ended up doing ass.
That's what I mean. Like you're trying to milk it. Obviously, I mean, what other reason there is?
Yeah,
you're trying to milk it
exactly,
and the quality is ass.
Right,
most of the time.
iCarly, they did an adult version of that.
That wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
I didn't watch it.
Okay,
but I did watch a couple clips of it, and I was like, it basically took the original and then just made it more adult, where now they can kind of curse a little bit.
Yeah,
and it's weird.
I know it's weird. That's why I kind of enjoyed it, because it's like, did you watch iCarly growing up?
The original?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was fun. And I still, them kind of taking it into the adult level, it kind of feels the same way as I'm a teenager and hearing them speak in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess maybe it's not a popular opinion.
I don't know. but I know, like, there's been a lot of like remakes from when I was a kid. There's a lot of cartoons, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows that they're remaking.
Scooby-Doo.
They're remaking. They're even doing it with Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
So they have a whole track record or a timeline. So they have the live action comes out in February. And then I think within the same year or the next year after, they have a retelling or it's going to be an animated series, but it's just Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know if it's a retelling or if it's just kind of just a retelling, or they're kind of changing the story just a little bit.
Yeah,
but they are doing a live or a cartoon or like an anime-esque of that. And then they have Avatar, another Avatar series coming out, but it's going to be an earthbender instead of a waterbender or airbender.
Yeah.
So, like, while that one's not necessarily a remake, that one is definitely or like the remake of the animated series is one of those situations where they're feeding off of nostalgia.
Yeah, I'm like, why can't they make new stuff?
That's what I've been saying.
You get what I mean? And
yes.
You've been saying this for a long time, because I remember even you like talk about Nintendo. How
cut it.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Well, I do want to touch on Nintendo in another podcast, but go ahead.
Okay. Like just feeding off their main character. But then again, I feel like Nintendo does a pretty good job on this, because I feel like the quality does not go down.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some games here and there, but the quality does not go down. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But now you take something of like Halo, you know what I mean, or even COD, or just Overwatch. Like all these games, like they start off good, and the more popular they got, it's like the quality has gone down.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge problem, because it's like as a consumer base, like you need to know, you want to know that the next game that's coming out or the next movie that's coming out is going to be worth your time and worth your money investment. And when it's not, it kind of ruins it puts a lot of distrust in the consumers' hearts and eyes and minds. And
the craziest thing about this is that it's not even the graphics, it's not even the CGI, it's not even like
the story. Well, it is the storytelling, but
exactly. But I'm saying, like, I'm talking about just mechanical stuff, you know, CGI, graphics, the movement. Yeah. Like, for example, like these new shows have crazy CGI, have everything in order to be successful, and
big budgets too.
Big budgets, big potential. But bro, you feel like the love and the magic that made it into a big thing, it's not there.
No, it's kind of like it was zapped out a little bit. It's because I feel like the original motivation for creating that content is gone. Like and you can go with battle passes, right?
Oh man, don't even get me started.
Like, battle passes are a main example of how, in video games at least, how you can take a product and you can kind of ruin it a little bit.
Oh, a lot. I would say.
I think like the main objective, like, okay, let's preface, because I feel like we need to say this before we go any further, and we're kind of far into the podcast to say this already. We understand the main objective of a company is to make money.
Yeah,
that is the main objective.
Understandable.
Video games are there they exist because they are a business first. They don't really appeal or they don't make games to make gamers happy. They make games to make money.
Right.
Some game developers genuinely love making the game, but when you're a part of a bigger corporation, it becomes about money.
Oh man.
That's just what it is. That's how companies work.
Yep.
You can't make a product without money. It's just typically how it goes.
And that's completely understandable.
But I think when you start focusing on how to make more money, the product suffers a great deal.
Right.
I mean, look at Sony, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to make they wanted to make 10 or 12 different live service games. That's a lot.
I heard about that. Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
And then not to mention all of those live service games, for all of you people who don't know what live service games are, they're basically just a tool to generate a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
Constant DLCs, constant skins, or constant like whatever.
Yeah. And like that's not sustainable. Like nobody's gonna. Well, they have also reduced how many live service games. A couple of their games almost half of their games got canceled.
Yeah, yeah. And I would say that these live service games, they operate, in like season passes and stuff like that. Yeah, but everything is so attracting. Like the skins and whatever they put out in the season pass. And, once players get a hold of this game and once they buy that season pass, they might feel sometimes like the game is fun or it might not be fun. Sorry, it might not be fun.
Yeah.
But they feel obligated to play the game just because of that battle pass.
Yeah.
And then these companies could boast about player retention. Mm-hmm. And the players just worrying about making sure, I bought this game and I bought the season pass. I want to get my money's worth. I have to play this.
Yes. Like I feel like these game companies and market. I mean, it's heavily marketing. I won't really say it's the developers. It's more the marketing side that's really promoting a lot of this. But I feel like their main their main thought process is like, people were buying the battle passes. It's making a lot of revenue. Let's just keep doing that.
Yeah.
That's not typically what people like. It's generally like you just said, you bought it, you want to use it, so you keep playing.
You keep playing it so you get your money's worth.
But also,
at least
the biggest, I won't put all the blame on this game.
Yeah.
But I will say one game in particular that kind of like really showed companies that they could make a lot of money from battle passes and live service is Fortnite.
Right.
And like, again, I don't want to like pin all the weight on it because it's more than just Fortnite or Epic Games that started this. It's as a whole, but you can see the ripple effect that's going across every company to company, and all of them are doing it. Like game companies are all doing it, and what I find value in the most is when game companies give DLC for free.
Elaborate on that.
So God of War, for example, they just came out with a DLC. They didn't charge any money for it. No. And there's no in-game purchases or anything. It's just you bought the game, you get DLC for free, and that's it. Like my thing is like a company is already making tons of money off of the person who's buying the game. Plus you have the publisher who's giving them all their money, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, game developers are overworked and underpaid to a degree, especially in today's society, because it takes so long to make a game.
Right.
They're overworked. They barely get to spend time with their families. But
I want to touch on that point when you're done.
They're not the ones in control a lot of this. It's usually the investors who are putting all of this pressure on them to make more money.
Yeah.
And the only way to make more money and what's been working is live service battle passes. But those are actually not working all that much anymore. And like the last thing, and I'll let you, and I'll,
no, you're good.
And I'll kind of drop it off. But like, the other demographic that's kind of feeding into these battle passes and live services are the younger kids, because they want that costume, they want that skin, they want that thing from Fortnite or whatever, and they see that Call of Duty has it, they see that Destiny has it.
Yes.
You can get the new gun.
A lot of games
right
have it nowadays.
Like, I personally miss the days. Like, I like the days, and I sound like an old man when I say this, but I like games where you can And actually, if you haven't watched our live or our live stream with High Roller TV from a couple weeks ago, go fun. On his channel, High Roller TV on YouTube, and go watch his live stream. Pedro, myself, and High Roller, his name is Matt. We talk a little bit, and we kind of talk about this a little bit too.
We got a W too.
We got one dub. Yeah, we were playing the finals. It was a really good time. Yeah. If you have not checked his channel out, go check it out, please. He's a great guy. He's really cool.
Really
has
cool
a lot of wisdom. Yeah, is really nice content. He's upping his game too, like social media wise, and so he's doing a lot of stuff. So definitely go check him out. But where did I leave off?
You left off with the finals.
No, before I talked about High Roller.
I think we were talking about season passes.
Kids are funding that because they want that next big thing. They want this thing, and I miss the days. And I sound like an old man or a broken record. But bro, if you're gonna tell me this, you could at least buy me dinner first.
You're right.
But I like games where they give you the option to either work for it or buy it.
Yeah.
Which battle passes don't really give you the
not
option.
Always, bro.
No, battle passes don't give you the option to really do that.
No, you
buy it or you just don't get it.
Yeah.
Which I like that grind. Like I want to be able to work for it, but I have seen people do that, but they do it at an unfair they make the gap so wide.
You have to grind enormous amounts of time.
Yeah.
In order to get
skin or gun.
Exactly. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Dude, Disney Speedstorm.
The game that I just told you I downloaded.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Their way of the season pass. I think a guy spent $100 and he still wasn't done.
Damn.
Getting all the characters.
Wow. See, that's my thing.
They're calling it Disney Greed Storm.
Disney is a big greedy company.
Disney's Greed Storm.
Shout out to Disney, one of the greediest companies on planet Earth.
Oh my goodness, bro!
If we get canceled for that, I don't care.
Yeah.
They need to be checked out a little bit because they like taking advantage of consumers.
Yeah,
I could go off on a whole tangent with that.
Oh yeah, dude. There's another podcast.
Yes. I mentioned a point that you wanted to touch into.
It was the whole developers working overtime.
Oh, yes.
So just to get a little bit of perspective, I was watching a video on a developer that worked on StarCraft,
mm-hmm.
and he said that
the $10,000 that people paid for all of it. We're talking about the same game, right?
I'm not sure, but I don't think he mentioned anything about $10,000.
Not him, but I think StarCraft it hasn't come out yet, right?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I know the game was called StarCraft. I'm not really into either StarCraft or one of those games.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about how he was working overtime,
mm-hmm.
and he was basically working, and he was so tired. I'm trying to paint a picture here.
Yeah.
And to release a game,
mm-hmm.
and I think. Some time later, they developed a $15. I think it was some $15 content, in-game content.
Yeah,
it wasn't no story. It was nothing. I think it was a skin or something,
mm-hmm.
or an item.
Mm-hmm.
That item was $15. It made more than the actual game did when it released.
Damn,
that $15 microtransaction.
Damn. It's ridiculous, bro.
Yes, dude, that got me so pissed off. I get it; it makes you a lot of money, bro. But at some point, people are gonna see this.
Yeah,
and like you said, a lot of these people buying this stuff are kids, and kids don't have money. No. Their parents probably don't pay attention to what they're spending. They have no idea what's going on. All they want to do is please their child.
Yeah,
and $15. Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, a couple years back, they had to make a whole regulation for loot boxes and loot crates.
Oh yeah,
because not only was it technically considered gambling, but kids were playing it a lot of this, which is illegal for young kids to be participating in a form of gambling.
Yeah, because it was like you paid money and they didn't know what they were getting. Yeah, it was a casino,
right? And
everybody had loot boxes,
and like that kind of worries me for the direction. I mean, like that there's a regulation for it now, but that kind of worries me for the future of games because greed and fame haven't necessarily they've only increased in games now. They haven't really reduced. If you think about it, a lot of mainstream or not mainstream, but big actors are participating in game development now.
Oh yeah,
like Nicolas Cage is in Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, and Post Malone having collab with Apex and shit.
Apex, and then now not only that, but you have Fortnite where you have all these skins, God of War's in it. You have Halo. You have Peter Griffin. Like all these companies are feeding into this, and like this fame is like we can promote this game by having more actors and famous people. It makes sense, but like you can have all these people jump on board and we can make more money.
Right.
But I want to give some more examples of some movies that show that are remakes. And you tell me, I'm gonna read off a list. I'm on collider.com. They have a list of remakes from 2023. We're not gonna go further back than that. But okay, starting with, I'm just gonna read off a list.
Okay,
straight off, and I'll read off, and you stop me if there's like a point where there's like nostalgia.
Okay,
right, or a form of greed. Scream sex. Yeah, scream sex, Poppy.
Okay, I never heard of that.
Scream 6.
Oh, Scream 6.
Yes,
nostalgia.
John Wick 4.
Ooh, bro. That to me, they're milking it, but they're making it the right way.
Yes. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I love that. They're milking it, but I love the way they are milking it.
Transformers Rise of the Beasts.
They're milking that shit.
Milking it. Hard. Indiana Jones.
Milking it.
It's super
I love Indiana Jones though.
This one,
but I stay with the first 3.
Yeah. I say this one's super milking it. Mission Impossible.
Super milk, bro. I was a big fan, and it kind of died off.
Equalizer 3.
I haven't seen those movies.
You haven't seen it? It's with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, but I haven't seen them.
I have watched like the first 2, maybe.
Yeah.
I think when you get past 3, you're 100% milking it. 100%.
Okay. Really?
3, you're kind of getting there. We'll talk about John Wick.
Okay.
Okay. Expendables.
I think they only done 2.
4. They've made 4. This is the 4th. September 2022 or September 22nd, 2023 was the 4th one.
Holy shit.
Because there's 4 in Expendables, so I'm assuming that's their 4th installment. The Exorcist.
Milking it.
Nostalgia. I was saying that's nostalgia.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
They've made too many Exorcist movies. Yeah. Saw 6 or Saw 10. Sorry,
that's also nostalgia.
I would say
Indiana Jones is also nostalgia.
Yeah, I will say this is nostalgia, but they're also milking it.
Yeah,
they've made 10. They've made 10 of them.
10 Saws.
Yes,
I love Saw movies.
X is 10, right?
Yeah.
Dune Part 2.
I don't think that's up to its full potential.
I don't. Wonka. I heard that was really good, actually.
Really?
I heard it was good.
Hey, I feel like as long as it's good.
Yeah, when it's asked, that's when
it hits you. Like, bro, stop.
I actually thought of a movie IP that is milking it super hard, and I hate this movie. And there's only 2 movies that I like in this franchise. It's about cars.
Cars?
No, it's about cars.
Oh, Fast and Furious.
There you go. Fast and Furious. How many have they made?
Dude, I think I like up to a 3rd one. Tokyo Drift, and that's it.
Tokyo Drift is where I stopped.
Yeah, that's it.
And it loses its point.
Nah, bro, that is milking it. That's losing its quality, bro.
But like the thing is like it's not even making that much money anymore. And they're just making more of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That to me doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
If you're a company and you are making a franchise and your franchise is clearly dying off, would you like? And I mean, it's dying. Like views are down by like 100%. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Would you you as a company, would you continue making that franchise or saying, you know what, we're done with this, let's just come up with a new idea?
I would try to do a spinoff, which is what they did.
They are doing spinoffs, and they're shit too.
They're shitty. I mean, I enjoy them, but they're, bro, like compared to freaking, 1, 2, and Tokyo Drift, it's like
you
nothing.
Can't capture light in a. I feel like a lot of companies try to catch lightning in a bottle again.
Even in the Matrix.
Yes,
like
and that's in itself is a problem. Yeah. It's like, okay, let it go. Yeah. You made the first 2 movies, they were a hit. Wouldn't you rather end on a high note than to end on a bad note?
Yeah, but the thing is, if you end on a high note, there is potential to get money. Even if it's shitty, the people, since it ended on a high note, they're expecting it to still be on that high note. It's kind of like the stock market.
There's nothing left. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the best way that I can explain this, right? Your movie makes, I don't know, let's say it makes $50 million. Day 3 makes $50 million. It's a lot of money.
Okay.
And it's doing really well. And this is the second movie that you made.
Is that profit on top of...
Well, let's just assume it is. Okay, I don't know anything about the movie industry.
Let's assume it's doing really good.
Yeah, let's just assume it's doing really well. You have 2 options. You can say, you know what? I can end this series on a high note, end it on 2, and I can sell products off of this second movie.
Like merchandise,
because that's where you make the most amount of money. You don't merely necessarily make it from the movies because you lose a lot of money from like paying the actors for the CGI and all that other stuff. So like you make a lot more money from merchandise than you do from the actual thing. Do you end it there and just continuously like make deals with other companies and sell merchandise, or do you make a third one? This is you. I'm not saying like posing the question, and you guys can play this game at home.
I'll end it on a high note.
End it on a high note. Why?
But the thing is, I cannot, bro, because like at the same time, I'm human. Here we go. We're gonna go on a deep dive here.
That's fine.
At the same time, I'm human, and I talk shit about these famous and greedy companies, but at the same time, I'm human. I never had that amount of fame. I've never had that amount of money. So it's like, bro, it's kind of like going to a casino and winning $10,000. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go again. Let's win another $10,000.
I understand what you're saying.
So I can't really talk, but from my standpoint, I would want to end on a high note and sell merchandise and leave it at that in order to make a fucking legendary movie. In my opinion, like the Harry Potter movies, like I feel like they were good, legendary.
Yeah. Well, I feel like at some point they may or may not remake those or retouch them.
I think HBO is making a whole. They're rebooting it and making a series about it.
It's overplayed. Not Harry Potter itself, but just like these reboots. Like you don't need to do like why they're doing reboots, right?
Why?
One, they're running out of ideas.
Money.
They're running out of ideas, and not to mention, but like now you have more content than ever.
Yeah.
You have, like we've talked about on another podcast, so you should go listen to this one. But you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have Disney Plus, you have Peacock, you have Amazon Prime. Not just that, but now you have movies coming out. Like
might as well be paying for cable again.
Like might as well be paying for cable. But like all of these platforms are trying to create their own new like next big thing. Like The Last of Us that came out on HBO, which HBO Max is another one. But like they're all trying to create these new shows. Netflix is notorious for having Netflix originals, but now like other companies are trying to have that, right?
Right.
And so like you have all of this content being like pumped out, like because consumers are hungry for it.
Yeah.
They want more and they want more and they want more and they want more. And it's like, okay, like there's only so many ideas to go around before you have to start recycling some ideas to give yourself some time to kind of come up with something new. And not everything new that you come out with is going to land. I was on Threads. I was chopping it up with some people on there in regards to a similar topic. But the idea is, or it was kind of about like Nintendo recycling.
Okay.
Or sorry, no, I was in GameStop talking one of the GameStop clerks.
Yeah.
From a business strategy,
nerd talk.
Was that nerd talk? Yeah,
that nerd talk. Okay.
From a company's perspective or a financial perspective, it makes way more sense, right, to take the same exact thing that you have and just build upon it. Because typically if it already worked once, it'll probably work again.
Yeah.
But you just have to find the right motive or the right the right kind of things to put in it to boost it. So for Mario, for example, Mario's a $1 million, like just the character alone makes like tons of money. Their one character. Why would Nintendo, like one of their most beloved characters, just decide we're not going to make Mario anymore?
No way, dude. That would be a dumb idea.
Exactly. Like it just wouldn't make any sense for them to do that. And the same thing with like a lot of their other games and stuff like that, like Legend of Zelda, Kirby. Yeah. Like they're all iconic characters that they've developed over the past 20 years. Right. That it doesn't make any sense for them to say, you know what, we're done making those games. They make money.
Yeah.
They're
proven to be good.
What's that?
They're proven to be good.
Yes. They're guaranteed buys for people.
Yeah.
Whereas if you like, what's more likely to make money? A Mario game or a completely new title that no one's ever heard of that most likely might not be good? Mario. Like, you're not going to take a chance on something that's new that might not be good.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of profit in that because people don't know that. People like familiarity, right? Yeah. And like I think that could lead us into the next point. So what can we do as consumers to save our favorite products? And I want to hear like a full in-depth like thought from you. I want to be inside you. I want to feel you.
You stop buying these things.
Okay, we're done. We're done. Stop buying shit.
I would say like when it comes to, these movies, especially you they're milking it. I would say, bro, just wait until one of these streaming services like exhibits them, and then make your own decision. But you don't have to go to the theaters and see it. Yeah, and you going to the theaters, that is what promotes this kind of behavior from these companies. You know what I mean? Right. Like microtransactions. The only reason we have microtransactions is because people keep buying them. And like I said earlier, we can't control the kids. The kids they want the microtransactions, but the money's not coming from their pockets.
Right.
It's from their parents that don't have any idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're always going to keep buying these skins.
Right. Now I want to challenge your thought really quick.
Yeah.
At least for the movies, not for the microtransactions.
Yeah, I mean, this goes for everything. That's what I mean.
But I want to challenge you really quick. Let's say people stopped going to the movie theater to support that. Now, and let's say like 2024 is a big year where there's a lot of remakes and kind of reboots or like continuations.
Yeah.
Or sequels. People stop going to support those, right? And let's say like half of the year is filled with a lot of that. Now now like movie theaters are kind of like like they're already going downhill now,
right,
from like a lack of attendance.
Yeah.
And now on top of that, now we're fighting against reboots and fame and greed and everything like that. And now the attendance for movie theaters is even less than it was now. And so now movie theaters are becoming...
So it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah. So it's like you have to be careful with doing that too much.
Right.
Because then people get the idea that, well, nobody's going to the movie theater, so we're not going to pump this movie out to the box office and lose more money. We'll just put it on Netflix.
How many good movies are coming out?
Bro, I haven't been to the movie theater in a minute.
Bro, how many good movies? Like, that's what I mean. It's like, it's not the movie theater's fault.
It's not.
It's the movies that are coming out.
No, but the movie theaters pay for it in the end. Because no one ends up going.
That's their business. But like, then again, you can't, at the end of the day, it's the developers and the people making these movies that don't have that magic, don't have that idea, new ideas coming up. that don't keep, and plus a lot of other things are being implemented where a couple weeks after it's already on a streaming service.
Right. Which, I mean, they've already had like a couple issues with that in the past where Scarlett Johansson specifically, like they weren't supposed to release Black Widow when that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to release that on a streaming platform up until a certain amount of time because the box office is where actors usually make the most amount of money.
Right.
When you release it on a streaming service like Disney Plus or whatever, actors don't really make as much from that. And I'm going to be a little like mean, and so I apologize in advance, but boo-hoo, you still make millions. You still make a couple $1 million from acting. So it's like, I get it. You're being like shortchanged. Right. I understand that. And like, you're spending like 2-3 years acting and reading lines and everything like that. And I will say, from working at my job, and I say from working at my job like I'm an actor. Yeah, right. But they do have like actors that they bring in, and sometimes they need extras, and I'm one of those. And acting, I used to think acting was a little easier. And I don't mean easy like, oh, anybody can do it. Yeah. But I mean, like, I was like, oh, I have an idea of how acting is, kind of like how I thought I had the idea of podcasting was. Right. Acting is a lot harder than I thought it. I'm pretty sure it is. So that's not to say that like these actors that are putting all of this time in don't deserve the amount of money that they're getting to a degree, but like that's like me making. It's like me coming to you and saying, Pedro, I just made $20,000 in a month, but I could have made $10,000 more, or I could have made like $10,000 more.
Exactly.
And I make $20,000 every month.
It's like greed.
Okay, at some point, it's getting a little greedy. It's like you don't want to be shortchanged, but you don't want to be greedy either. So it's like, because a lot of these companies can take advantage of you, so you don't want that to happen. But anyway.
But what if your bills are up to that level? What if your bills depended on it? Remember, these people got like crazy cars, crazy mansions that they have to take care of.
You're buying above your means then.
Huh?
You're buying above your means.
Yes.
Or not necessarily above your means, but that's, you're buying like, way over than you should probably be buying over.
And that's, people have trouble with this in all different stages of the spectrum, I guess, the pay spectrum, I guess, you know what I mean? But I guess if it comes to that, then I get it. You gotta pay your bills, but at the same time, bro, you're talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's like, okay, at what point
you won't be homeless, bro? You won't be homeless.
It's like, spare some change for me, sir. Spare some change. Yeah. I need some money over here. I'm struggling. Like, why don't you share some of your wealth? But I think overall, like, you have to have like a clear guideline of your financial perspective, I guess. But that's also kind of hard because you and I don't make that much money.
Hell no.
Nowhere near that much amount of money.
I wish.
We make like a penny, a drop in the bucket compared to how much these actors and game developers make. But to go off of that, one point that a teacher had made to Pedro and I in college was we had asked him what he would do with $2 million, right? Do you remember this? Do you remember this?
What teacher was this?
Chris.
What did he say? I don't remember this.
He actually gave a really solid like answer. Like, people throw around the hypothetical, like, what would you do with $20 million, or would you take $20 million to suck Pedro's left toe? Like,
I have a feeling he said something like, that's not a lot of money.
No, he didn't say that at all.
He didn't say that at all.
He said, I can't tell you what I would do with $2 million or $20 million because I can't comprehend how much that actually is. It's true though.
Yeah, it is
like,
true.
How can you rightfully go and say, I would buy this and I would buy that and I would buy this? You don't know how much that's going to actually get you. You don't know how quickly you're going to buy through that. You can only refer to the amount of money that you currently get to play with yourself, whatever your job pays you. And whatever you make in a month and etc. Like, that's the only amount that you have concept of. Like, for me, for example, and I'm not like giving my numbers away, but like I can only fathom up to like, I don't know, like 80,000.
Okay.
I don't make $80,000. I would have specified.
But you would. Okay, I can handle this.
Yeah, like I can understand how much $80,000 can get me.
Yeah.
I understand how much $100,000 can get me. Like I get that concept. You buy a car for $40,000. You're like, okay, $40,000 in actuality isn't that much money.
Yeah.
It's a lot to us because like we don't make that much money where we could just drop $40,000 and it's whatever.
To have it to support, your home, your
exactly,
current car, whatever.
But now you up that. Like we don't get paid what an actor.
Come on, bro. You all right?
There's too many dicks flying in my mouth, man.
I know, I see them.
But we don't get paid what an actor, what a game developer, what a CEO, whatever. Like, we don't get paid what they get paid, right?
Yeah.
So for us to sit here and be able to say like, oh, like $22 million, like that's enough. Like
we don't know.
And it's easy to say like, yeah, I don't need this mansion. I don't need this car. And I don't need.
Easy as hell to say that.
Easy to say that because we're not in the position to be able to buy something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we had the money that we could just do that, I'm pretty sure we would buy ourselves something pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd have to maintain it, upkeep it. I think there was an interview with T-Pain. He said he bought a Bugatti. Did you ever hear about this?
No.
T-Pain said he bought a Bugatti, and within the first couple months, like he almost went bankrupt from it. Like a year or two, whatever. I don't remember the time span. But he said he almost went bankrupt because like a loan just to like fix something in the car cost almost what it was worth.
What the fuck?
And it was like he got rid of it. He's like, that's not worth it.
No.
But I think that's the thing, right? It's like sometimes you have to like get this stuff and then realize that it's not as worth it as you thought it was.
You're buying a flex.
Exactly. And so like it's probably better for you to kind of just maintain within a reasonable price range.
Right.
And not go over and beyond, because like in the event where something does happen financially, you might get screwed over and now like your money's gone.
Exactly.
So but to give like a final thoughts, or our final thoughts about fame and greed ruining our favorite products. Like can you give any products that you think, and like it could be any product. It could be like a toy. It could be like a game console. It could be a car or whatever. Headphones
that have been affected by
that have been affected. Anything.
I would say,
or if you want to just end with final thoughts of like the whole thing in general, you can do that too.
Yeah, I would say like the Marvel, cinematic franchise.
Marvel, yeah.
I think after
Marvel's dying. That's another podcast episode in our backlog.
Right. Yeah, it's true. After Endgame, I feel like it has gone downhill a little bit.
I really want to talk about that one, by the way.
You really want to?
Yeah.
Maybe we should make it next one.
Maybe.
Depend
on you guys.
It's. I feel like it's been more down than it's up. It's up and down, but I feel like it's been more down after Endgame.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I did want to touch upon the iPhone.
Yeah.
You know how? Okay. I feel like the iPhone, it comes out every year, almost like a car model. I don't see
car model. Car models don't come out. They come out every 4 years, but it's still short. I understand.
They still count it as this year's model,
right?
But bro, it's the same, literally the same thing as last year's model.
Same shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Same shit, just a different title.
Exactly. They just do that to like keep the same price. You know what I mean? Like as a new car.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same one as the 2020. You get my point.
Yeah, I follow.
So the iPhone, I feel like when they come out sometimes, like they come out every year, sometimes it's the same shit. I mean, they have different little specs here and there change up. Yeah. But I feel like they don't make a big change. They make a big change probably every 4 years.
For an iPhone?
For iPhones.
Big change. I mean,
probably every 2 to 4 years.
It's usually when the phone starts getting stale.
Yeah.
Like they changed recently the charging port.
Yeah. To a USB-C, right?
Yeah.
That could have been done way earlier.
Well, you know why. This is a separate topic, but you know why they did that, right?
Why?
The EU.
Yeah. Elaborate.
The EU. So the European Union.
Okay.
They specifically were like, you need to change your phone over to a port that uses similar cables to every other product. All phones and products use USB Type-C. Your phone is the only one that doesn't, and you're creating more waste. Ooh. And so they were like, and so Apple tried to go against it, and the EU was like, no, you're doing it. I'm paraphrasing.
Is that because of greed? Because they're trying to gatekeep?
Apple? Apple's trying to gatekeep.
100%. 100%.
Even though they have USB Type-C on their laptop, on their iPad, it doesn't make any sense. But they just probably didn't want to pivot their phone from Lightning port to USB-C. So they changed it not because they wanted to, but because they were forced to.
Yeah. Do you consider that a good thing? I know forcing things is not always viewed as the best thing, but do you think it's a good thing?
Do I think them changing the to the USB-C? I think overall it is a good thing.
A good thing
for just being able to utilize the same connector with everything else. But
cheaper for us too.
Cheaper for us. But because Apple didn't want to do it, and then they didn't do it on their terms, they kind of took the cheaper way out. The USB-C port that they chose or they used in the newest phone is like an outdated version, or is it an older version of the port?
Okay.
So there's certain I think the charging speeds are pretty basic on it. Download speeds and stuff like that are pretty basic. So like it's if they would have done it the Apple way, which
the best of the best.
Best of the best.
Yeah.
The Apple way is the phrase that I got from MKBHD. So shout out to him. But and his crew. But the Apple way is basically the best of the best. Apple does it a very specific way that only that tailors towards Apple, and they are it's recognizable. It's like it's revolutionary because Apple did it.
They're the PlayStation of the tech
exactly
world.
And so like it would have been their version of perfection. Just like they did the dynamic island, right? The little circle notch. Like it's revolutionary because they're the only phone that has a dynamic island, but they're also the only phone that still has a notch in their phone. Most phones now are pretty past that. But anyway. So I do think it's a good thing because it forced them to move forward, but it's also kind of a bad thing because they didn't do it to the best way possible. So you take with that what what you will.
But either way, this whole thing affects the product in general. You know what I mean? The whole we want to say it's greed because that's what it looks like
to us.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to us. So at the end of the day, greed always going to affect the product for the negative.
Yeah.
Once it loses that magic, the magic to the developers, the magic to people making these products, it's instead of the being the game, now it's completely geared towards money.
Right. And I think the other contributor to this is and we kind of touched on this a little bit, and this is my final thought, but the other thing that a lot of companies are using they're using fame
to their advantage
to really promote this thing. Oh, you have this new rapper or you have J. Cole talking about, I don't think he's really ever done a promotion for a video game.
I don't think so.
Not for a video game. Post Malone.
Apex.
Post Malone is promoting this, or you have Ludacris is promoting this one thing. Lil Wayne, you have Dwayne The Rock Johnson is promoting this game. You have these people, and they're not really doing it because they necessarily care about the game, really.
No.
And Lil Wayne, he likes playing games.
Yeah, he does. And Snoop Dogg does.
Snoop Dogg, yeah. They genuinely like playing games.
Yeah.
But as a bonus, you have these big names that are like, oh, this person's playing this game and this person is playing this game and they're promoting it. And so now it draws more attention because not only is it a cool game that's coming out, but their favorite artist or favorite actor is now like playing that game.
Yeah, so they lean more towards it.
Right. And I think that in itself is they're using public figures
marketing.
They're using marketing, but they're using public figures to really promote this. And that in itself is kind of dangerous because I think me personally, I can fall into that category of like, ooh, this person is, I haven't done it, but I'm saying like, if J. Cole was promoting, I don't know, this thing, I would be more inclined to look into it than.
I'm trying to think of a good thing here.
Go for it. If you have it,
I'm trying to test you right now.
If you have it,
I don't know. Okay, J. Cole promoting Assassin's Creed. Would you buy Assassin's Creed?
I guess I'm in Assassin's Creed now. I guess I'm in Assassin's Creed.
But yeah, people think like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to separate yourself from like the game and the artists and the fame that's behind it. So this isn't necessarily to like say like you guys need to be more woke and just do whatever you want, buy it. Just probably be a little bit more conscientious. If you're tired of battle passes, maybe don't support those anymore. Yes. Maybe just play the main game and have fun playing that and just ignore the battle pass or the season pass. Ignore that or some variation. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to give up on that thing. Just maybe
if you're tired of it.
Yeah.
I think we're not trying to tell you what to do.
No. But I do think if the gaming industry specifically is heading in the wrong direction for that. And I think we as consumers have the power to kind of pivot away from that and go back to maybe a different formula, a variation of what already exists, or even maybe go back to like, hey, you do battle passes anymore. Because during PS2, PS3 era, it wasn't really about making money. It was about making money, but like it wasn't.
The game was just fun.
It was just, you were having fun. You were playing the game. You
played the game a lot to have fun. Nowadays, you play the game a lot in order to finish that battle pass.
Yeah, exactly.
That you spend money on.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's a good wrap up.
Yeah. Save your money, people, and be a little conscientious on the greed that's ruining your favorite product.
Yeah, and sometimes you might not even notice it. Sometimes like, what the hell? I mean, I'm playing games, but it's not the same feeling I had before. Yeah. Maybe it's time to, look more deeply into it.
Yeah. You could with that little quote alone, you could go back to our one episode about are you losing your love for your favorite hobbies? And we didn't think about this, but like it could just be like these companies are slowly but surely ruining these games. This is why you're not as interested in them anymore.
They're shifting their focus on something else.
Exactly.
Oh, that was a good talk.
I'm sad, Pedro.
Why are you sad, buddy?
Because it's over.
It's over. It needs to be over, but there'll be a time again.
So we'll long, come back. Farewell. Until we meet again, my friend.
It might be the last one. I don't know. The world might end tomorrow. This is the
last one. The world's going to end. Pedro's going to... I'm
going to go into a bunker.
You're going into a bunker?
Mark Zuckerberg's new bunker. We're going to stay in there and, I don't know, watch movies and shit. Doritos,
Did you say Jeffrey Epstein?
Stop, bro. He's probably going to be in his tank towards the light because he's a lizard. Mark,
yeah, he already is a lizard.
Yeah, bro. When he's home, he's always under the light. I don't know why, dude.
It's how you stay warm. It's cold outside. It's 24 degrees, and we're just chilling.
But he's naked.
He's naked. How do you know?
Dude, he's a lizard. Lizards be naked under the light.
I don't know where this is going, but thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of the LeisureHub Podcast. I have been your host, Justin. Alongside me has been
Pedro.
Damn. Getting zesty with the
Pedro.
I like that.
Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. Adios.
Actually, given a little Spanish lesson, how do you say greedy or greed in Spanish?
I think it's avaricia.
Avaricia.
I think.
You think?
I might be wrong.
Well, we'll end it with that. Peace.
Peace. How?